You're not on the field, court, or ice. You are on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. Delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Good evening. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Coaching from the Couch, live from the WBGR Sports Network studios. I am your host, CWall. Hey, everybody. I have to get through like that first couple of like, hey, we're at WBGR Sports Network. I be wanting to jump right in and be like, y'all, I've been waiting a whole week to talk to you guys. Oh my gosh. You know how much happens in a week around this place? When is there ever a dull moment, everybody? Never. Sabrina wins again because she had the answer right last week. She had it right last week, everybody. There is never a dull moment. It's like every single day there's something. And then we get here on Thursday and have to talk about it. But first, I have to go through who's in the studio with me. So I have my CWall team members in the house. I got Sabrina, I got Joy, and then Cameron is here. He's our new CWall team member. Yay! So I want to remind everybody to please make sure you are following CWall Sports and Entertainment on Facebook at CWall Sports and Entertainment. It's like the and sign. Y'all know what it is, the ampersand sign. And then on Instagram at CWall Sports and on Twitter at CWall SE. So make sure you are following right now. We have merchandise on sale on Shop CWall on the website. Make sure you Google it, follow the hashtag. You will find everything that we have in the store. Listen, we got a lot more church announcements. I call them the church announcements because it's long and we got to get through it because it's part of the service. So listen, also, make sure you all are sharing the show with your DC sports loving family and friends. I promise you, there's something for everybody on this show. You can watch it whenever you get a chance, but it's always a boatload of fun when you're watching live so that we can address your questions and you can take an active part in the conversation. All right, first things first, still in church announcement mode. Gotta say get well soon to Kevin Durant. As everyone knows at this point, Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles in Game 5 of the NBA Finals Monday night versus the Toronto Raptors. Just want to wish him well, let him know we all love him, and that we just are always rooting for him. We know he's going to come back better than ever, stronger than ever. He is indeed a warrior. No pun intended, based on the team that he's playing on. But at the same token, listen, rooting for you, praying for you, and we know that you will be well soon. Also, in terms of the sports happenings this weekend, listen, y'all, don't forget about your Washington Valor, your arena football champions, okay now? Don't forget about them. They're playing. They got games this weekend. Go ahead and take Dad out for Father's Day weekend this weekend. Shout out to all the fathers out there. This weekend and next week, here is their upcoming schedule. Home games. This Saturday, June 15th, 7 p.m. at Capital One Arena versus the Albany Empire. Then they play the Baltimore Brigade next Thursday, June 20th. That's at 7. And then the following week, June 29th at 7, they play the Atlantic City Blackjacks. So that's the Washington Valor up the next 3 home games for them. Make sure you check them out. Then we have the Mystics. Next upcoming home games tomorrow night is going to be on and popping at the new Entertainment and Sports Arena. 7 p.m. they're playing the Seattle Storm, and then June 29th at 2 they're playing the Connecticut Sun. Okay. Now, let me see if I can get on here, y'all. Y'all know, y'all see me struggle with technology every week, and I appreciate y'all, dealing with that while I get on here so I can see some of the questions as well as they come through, if there's any. All right, I'm doing my girl Joy here a solid. I'm doing her a solid. We're going to talk about the Redskins first. We can't talk about the Redskins the whole entire show. She wants to talk about the Redskins the entire show. And I cannot do that because we have so much to cover, but we will talk about them.
Comment HTTR for a whole show.
Oh gosh. So first things first. Today the Redskins announced some changes to their personnel department. I'm going to go ahead and read their press release on what has on the changes that have been made. There's several changes that have been made. The team has promoted college scouts Cole Spencer and David Whittington to national scouts, along with elevating Matt Evans to the role of college scout in the Southeast region. In corresponding moves, the team named Harrison Richer the new college scout in the Southwest region and named former scouting assistant Peter Pisarelli the new college scout in the Northeast region. Ron Rose, a scouting assistant in 2018, has now taken Harrison's place and will operate out of the Northeast region. And they've hired Connor Behringer as a football strategy analyst and Tyler Clater as a scouting assistant. That was a lot, and that's why I had to just tell you all what the press release said. So we just trickle back with some of that. All of these folks are not new to the organization. Cole Spencer is going into his 10th year with the Redskins. David Whittington, his 11th season with the Skins. Matt Evans, his 6th season. Harrison Richer, his 3rd season. So they've elevated some folks, moved some folks around. Congratulations to all of them, and wanted to share that news with you all. Okay? Y'all got that? Perfect. Everybody got it? All right. Let's go ahead and talk about Trent Williams. I want nobody to say that I didn't talk about Trent Williams first. Because I'm talking about Trent Williams right on now, okay? Trent Williams posted to his Insta story earlier today a picture of him, and now I don't know the name of the song. Oh my gosh, it's gonna bother me now. It was a little Dirk song, but I don't remember the name of that song. I don't know. Cameron might know. I don't know. But I just okay, all right, okay, well, all right. So right, they over there whispering, who was Lil Durk? So yeah, he posted to his Insta story. Just all you could see was his feet, the nurses, the doctors. He's clearly in the hospital. Ian Rappaport then reported that, to his understanding, this is nothing. This is just a cosmetic, something to clean up previous surgery from the previous surgery. The thing of it is, he has to have multiple surgeries to help with the cosmetics from that last surgery. It's interesting because Trent has not, since all of the reports about him, whether he wants to trade, wants to be released, has vowed that he would never play for the Skins again. It's all come out that he's very frustrated with the Redskins medical staff. He's not said a word else to media since all this has come out. So, boom, now, here we go a week later since all this has come out, and he's just showing an Insta story. And it's interesting that he chooses the Insta story route to communicate this, because, after 24 hours, the Insta story, you got to grab a screenshot of it, like I did. So you got to grab a screenshot of it, because after 24 hours, it goes away. So he has not made an actual statement regarding anything. But he, in my opinion, this is my opinion that I'm saying right now, he is making a statement by what he's choosing to share. Trent has shared these moments throughout the off season. I just think now it's being highlighted because of him not showing up to mandatory minicamp, and then all of the reports about him wanting to be traded or released. But he's been sharing in this manner the entire off season. So nothing has changed per se. We'll have to. We don't know. We don't know. Again, let's just go back to the fact that Trent, even if none of this was happening, guess what? Trent still would not have been able to practice, so he wasn't coming anyway, quite frankly. So we just got to remember that. What I will say, Trent is mad, and everyone knows that, but he's communicating without saying a word, is what I like to tell people. He's communicating without saying a word. He's communicating in the manner in which he wants to communicate, and then that's just showing everybody that here we are in mid-June, and he's still dealing with, after effects or things needing to be done surgically to deal with this issue that he had previously that has caused all this controversy. Joy, did you have a question?
No, I was just going to say, we'll wait for Trent if it can be worked out. The Redskin fans.
we gonna have to, hold your breath, and so, but don't die holding your breath. So the thing of it is, this is right, don't die, we can't do that. So, we'll continue to see how it all unfolds, but he's definitely talking without saying anything. He's showing us his journey. He's showing us what's happening, and so we'll let that be that. This week closed out minicamp. The last practice was optional, so many of the starters were not there earlier this week. So now the team is off until training camp in Richmond later in July. So they have about 4 or 5 weeks to rest up. Hopefully everybody will stay on the straight and narrow. Jonathan Allen in an interview said that he's still working out 5 times a week, 5 days a week. He's not letting up on his workout schedule at all. Other players are sharing the same information and saying the same thing. So we'll see what happens, you guys. I don't know. All I have to say, listen, people are asking questions about what went well, what looked good, what didn't look so good. And I'll say this, as I shared with a fellow Redskins fan earlier today. If you're going to get excited about anything, get excited about that defensive line. Oh, wow. The defensive line looks really good. They look good. They look ready. The defensive line started out very strong last year, and then they all started to fade around, mid-season. And so they did what they could do. And then, of course, injuries started to happen and things of that nature. But I'm going to tell you, they look good. They look ready. If anything, very good defensively. I'm not counting the wide receivers out. I've shared this on other shows that I really like Cam Sims. We saw glimpses of Cam Sims before he got hurt in preseason last year. This guy can get up and get it, and he wants the football in his hands. I like him a lot. Terry McLaurin, like him a lot. Kelvin Harmon, same thing. You notice I did not mention Josh Doxson. In all honesty, I did see glimpses of Josh. I'm not going to play him out. He had a couple of really good days. But, Cam Sims, those three, Cam Sims, Terry McLaurin, and Kelvin Harmon, they stood out. Those were the standouts. Again, this is just May and June. But that's who stood out. For real. So I feel good about that. They're improving. Dustin Hopkins and Tress Way, they still my team MVPs. Adrian Peterson, I just want him to be bubble wrapped until week 1, but we know he's not going to do that because of the type of competitor that he is. But he looks extraordinary. He looks phenomenal. And he just makes that entire unit better by his presence. The tight end unit needs some work. They need some work. They need some work. That's all I'm gonna say. And we got time. Don't nobody. When I say they need some work, nobody get scared. I'm not saying in August and I'd be like, look, listen. I know I told y'all in June they needed some work, but ain't nobody working.
So
it looked bad.
Once you go to camp, we'll have a full picture of what we
you
actually
should.
Look like.
You should. I think you more so have the full picture in preseason.
Okay.
Preseason will tell the truth.
We always win in preseason.
Well, sometimes we don't. and then what happens is the same issues you saw in preseason that people say, oh, it's just preseason. It'll be the same thing that you get beat by week 1 through 17. The only week you did lose was the bye week. So that's all I'm saying. The preseason already. The preseason already.
There's the drag
for the evening. I had to throw it in there.
Hashtag drag.
Somebody caught it. I had to say something slick out my mouth. And that's all I can say, y'all. That's all I can say, you guys. Offensive line needs a lot of help. And they know it, and they're working. I want to see more out of the offensive linemen that were drafted, because I was so excited about Wes Martin and Ross Pershbaker, and I want to see them, and they're going to learn. I mean, they're rookies, give them a chance, give them a shot. That's what I kept saying to myself. Defensive backs, they look fine, they look all right, but overall, look forward to a quarterback competition. Look forward to a defensive line that knows what they're doing. I feel like the inside and middle linebackers still, I'm kind of like, all right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all good. It's still early, but it's work to be done.
Yeah.
It's work to be done, and everybody knows it. And it's cool. It's good. I mean, so much you can do. It's not like these guys are in pads out there. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to see what comes out of training camp and see what these guys are really looking like, because that's going to tell the tale. Again, the quarterback competition. That training camp is just going to have to. Training camp this year is going to be critical. I also want to say this before I forget, before we switch gears to the Wizards, or an NBA draft. I hear people say that they want, just throw the season, or what's the word? Y'all know what I'm not forfeit, but people just want everybody. They just want the Redskins to come out and lose on purpose. Is what I'm trying to say. Why can I not think of the name of that? Yeah, just throwing the towel. You know all that is. Thank you, Cameron. And so, they're not going to do that. So they are going to be putting their best players forward. Period. They are going to be trying their darndest to win football games. No, just, you know what I mean? Just throwing it away to get a new draft pick or get this or get that. Not on purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like if they fold, it's definitely not on purpose. So we'll see what happens, everybody. We'll see what happens. Exciting times to come. Hopefully the Trent Williams situation works out, and we'll go from there. We will go from there. Now we have to move on. We must move on. I got you in first, Redskins fans. Got y'all in first. Let's move. Except for during the football season. I try to let y'all have the football season. But next Thursday this time, we will be at the Entertainment and Sports Arena downtown from 7 to 9. Okay, the Wizards draft party. Make sure you go online and register. Get in there. It's going to be a ball. It's going to be a blast. They're going to have food and drink specials. I think Coach Brooks supposed to make an appearance. You might see some special appearance by Wizards and Bullets alumni. So all you Bullets fans, you got to come out too. Next week, next Thursday, for the draft party. The Wizards still do not have a general manager. And so as far as I'm concerned, the interim general manager is the general manager. And they just haven't said that yet. So we going with that. I mean, Tommy Shepard and this current team is who will be making the decisions next week. That's who's making the decisions now. That's who's in the building now during the draft workouts. Okay, so that's where we're going. That's where we're headed. I asked. I almost forgot that I said I was going to do this. I almost forgot. I'm glad this is why you got to have notes sometimes. I almost forgot. I would just like to say, as I said earlier on my page, that I wanted to remind everyone that we do not have any second round picks until 2023. Okay? Thank you, Ernie Grunfeld.
You did that.
We will have to remember this for the next 4 years. We have to deal with this. We have no second round picks unless you get to trading and doing all this, that, and the third, right? None. Zero. Which means, again, like we've been saying this whole time, that first round draft pick, I don't know. We got to draft, like what Deion Black said earlier today, we got to draft a miracle. You better do something. Because you got to make that one count. It's got to mean everything. So, because that's all you got. So, ooh, yeah. It's got to be the pick of all picks. So, a couple weeks ago when we got the ninth pick in the draft, I took to my social media and I asked folks, who do you think the Wizards should pick with that ninth pick? And so here's some feedback. Oh, yeah, wait. I still didn't say what I had to say. I'm sorry. And I told somebody, I promised somebody I would do this for them. And it was when I brought up the Ernie Grunfeld thing and saying that we didn't have any draft picks, no second round draft picks. I told Curtis Price because Curtis Price responded back to me and it said, salt, meat, wound. Thanks for that. And I'm like, hey, man, listen. I didn't do it. I just state the facts. I just want everybody to remember. But I thought that was funny. That's salt, meat, wound. I'm going to have to use that again, Curtis. But at any rate, I asked some folks who they thought. And let's go through some of the potential draft picks. I have no idea. There's not been any real grumblings over the Wizards going to take this person at 9. 9 is a tricky spot. You don't know who's going to be there. You really have no idea. My take is best available. Just take the best person available. My goodness. But at the same token, there has to be some strategy. I don't know what it would be. But, I know my preference would be somebody that is strong defensively. So, I'm going to go through some of the feedback. So, Daryl Robinson said, Nasir Little from the University of North Carolina. And the reason why, Daryl says, is the Wizards need some wing help. They need a small forward that can defend and be a strong, a third scoring option. Okay. So I did, of course I do some digging then on Nasir. And he's good. He's good. I think the Brooklyn Nets are also looking at Nasir and think very highly of Nasir. He's a freshman. So he just finished his freshman year in North Carolina. So he's fresh out, but very athletic. He averaged 9.8 points, 4.6 rebounds a game. He's 77% free throw shooter. He's athletic. He's explosive. I like him. He's cool. You know what I mean? I liked him. I went back and looked at some things, and I said, okay, yeah. I like him. I like him. I like him. Someone else had brought up his name. I couldn't remember. So Daryl brought him up. One of the other things that has kind of been said about him, meaning Nasir, is a weakness of his, is that he didn't play a lot of minutes at North Carolina. I think he only averaged maybe like 18 or 19 minutes a game when he played. So that is a concern. Limited minutes there. 3-point shooting and not being a great playmaker was noted. weaknesses, if you will. Then others mentioned Deion Black, mentioned a couple people mentioned Jackson Hayes. I think BJ mentioned him too. BJ Lucas mentioned him. So Jackson Hayes is from Texas. Let me see something. I'm trying to go back. I like him. He is expected to be a lottery pick. He's somebody else who's a freshman. He, wasn't somebody that was seen as potentially being a lottery pick, of course, at the beginning of the season, but he had a solid and efficient freshman year. So he's kind of now on everybody's radar as a potential person. He's very athletic, but he's extremely, they call it raw. So he's somebody that you're going to have to, you can't base your choosing of him based on who he is now. This is strictly potential right here. The thing with that, my challenge with that is, I think, it's hard, right? Because do the Wizards have time?
No. To groom somebody?
Right. Do the Wizards have time? Doesn't sound like it. At this point, Cameron says Bradley Beal ain't getting traded. You know what? I don't know what's happening, Cameron. I'm gonna jump right in and say I don't know what's happening, because I could have sworn then I heard it was supposed to be a three trade deal, and the Pelicans want Bradley Beal. I don't know what's happening, but I'm just gonna rebuke all of it in the name of Jesus, because I want him to leave.
And that went first round went to?
Who?
Zion.
Well, they got the number 1 pick.
And Bradley Beal?
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. It's all rumors. It's all rumors.
You gonna dead that rumor.
But we just going to dead it like we just going to end it, and we going to pray for the rest of the day, because I don't want any of that to happen. But then going back, right? But then we go back to things like all the stuff about trading Bradley Beal and people trying to find trades for John Wall and all that. Listen, if you're not gonna develop these guys coming out, then who gonna teach them? Who gonna help them?
Exactly.
Who? I want to mention Manute Bol's son, Bo. Now, I really want to talk about him. A lot of people like Bo. Mm-hmm. Terrence Brooks mentioned him. Chris Burton mentioned him. Quite a few people mentioned Bo. Bo is 12 feet tall. He's 1,000 inches. Let me stop. But he's 7'2". He's 7'2". One of the concerns is just his size. Not because he's too big, but he's 7'2" and like 208 right now. So he's like, I mean, you going up against these guys in the league, somebody's going to knock you over. This is not going to be pretty. So he needs to beef up weight. He's been injured. One of the things that even BJ Lucas said, and he said, I don't like young players with bad feet. That was BJ's quote. That was one of my issues. I'm like, he already hurt too much for me. Mm-hmm. But he's a great player, but I also think that this is one of those, again, I just don't know. I don't know, because one of the dings on Bo has now been his work ethic. I don't like that. You'll turn me, I get turned off real quick if I hear already that there's questions about your work ethic. That's a problem for me.
He has a namesake and an entitlement comes with that.
Well, yeah.
Automatically,
Right. That's a great point.
He ain't working as hard. He feel like he don't have to work
feel like he don't have to work as hard.
His door is open.
Right. I'm going to go. Somebody going to pick me up. And you know what? Somebody is going to pick him up.
At his size.
You know what I mean? He is. You got to, 7'2".
Yeah.
I mean, you got to take a chance on him. Just because of his size, and because, honestly, and this is what my guy Jamal Piper said, he was like, this NBA draft is trash. I don't think it's trash, but I'm not like, I can't wait till next Thursday. I'm just like, make a pick, because you got to pick and make it good. Other folks have talked about trading away the pick, but I think we need that pick.
Yeah, we need that pick.
We need that pick, and it's got to be good. It's a couple other players that have been noted. Cam Reddish. Oh Lord, I think Cam Reddish was maybe the only one. I don't want to say his name wrong, so I got to look it up. Because I will get on here and butcher somebody's name, y'all. Ted the Shreds. Who was it? I don't know. Oh, Sekou Doumbia. And that wasn't even who I was going to talk about. But I'm going to bring him up because he's an international player and he's good. He's good. Yeah. He's good. Yeah. He's one of the international players, and he's one of the players to check for and to really look for. So, he's a good one. I would nod my head like, oh, okay, that's what's up. If we picked him up, I'm just. It's got to be a pick. It's got to be a good one. I want someone who is very strong defensively. That's what I want. We got to get stronger in the paint. We got to get stronger defensively overall. So that is what I am definitely hoping for, looking for, praying for. Lord, please help us out. And so, and then we'll just see what happens, you guys. I think we are at our time for the evening, you guys. This is always a pleasure for sure. Make sure you are sharing this show with your DC sports loving family and friends. Next week, we will be at the Entertainment and Sports Arena. Okay, so it probably will be a re-air of this show. Alrighty, so I will see you guys back here again June 27th. Alright, everyone have a blessed evening. Good night.